Hi crafters, and welcome to this week's Technique of the Week. Hope you're all doing well. It's starting to be sunshiny here again this morning in the Chicagoland area. Yesterday my daughter and I did a lot of planting, and it got up to, I think it was like 85, felt like 95. So yeah, it was hot and humid out, but we get to relax today because all the planting got done yesterday. I'm going to show you this technique. Now, I make a list of the techniques I'm going to show you, and I don't even know where my book is right now. So this one was due, and then the wonderful Jennifer McGuire did a video on it on Friday. So there are a few more ideas on her channel. So I'm going to do three different techniques. We'll try to make them into cards, but we'll look at time permitting. But the stamp sets I'm going to be using today are Greenery Lane, Flowers Fair, and then the Simple Alphabet. Now, I didn't do a video on the Simple Alphabet only because it's an alphabet. How much can you really show? So this will be the first time you're seeing it on one of my videos, but I have not done a full feature on that stamp set. It probably won't. All right, with the Greenery Lane, I am going to make a little bit of a background, and we're going to be using these solid parts, and then we're going to stamp in the outline, the line art. Let me see, half of these stick on one, half stick on another. So I'm going to be using this one, the like floral sprig, and I think maybe I'll just use that one. Maybe I won't use these. I think I'll stay with just a little more rounded. We'll keep it simple. That way the video doesn't go for, an hour. Now I keep, when there's a bundle, when you order these on my website, you get these each in one of these plastic folders. I like keeping my stamps and dies that match together. So you always see both of mine in one folder, which means I have a lot of empty folders that I can use for other things. All right, so let's go ahead. Let me get a couple blocks out here. Sorry, it's right by the microphone, so I hope it's not too loud. Let's go ahead and put these down. All right, so I'm going to take the more solid, and I'm going to use the white stamp pad. Now mine's old, and you get, when you order it, you do get a re-inker with it, just so you know. And I'm just going to, we're going to make this kind of like a little background look. How about that? Ooh, I want to make sure. I'm going to put it over here where it's in on the glass. So just making, ooh, hang on. I got something on that. See that big blob there? I don't know what. Something was on there. It looks like maybe it was a piece of fuzz. I don't know. All right, so let me put this back in here so you don't see that. Let's ink this back up. Let's see. Let's go one this way. And let's do, oops, I might have touched it with my thumb. Did. One this way. All right, so there's your white. Now the white's going to take a while to dry. Just remember that. That's why I don't know if we'll get to cards, because I don't want to turn on my heat gun and it makes a terrible loud noise. And I think that it looks better when it dries naturally. I'll show you what I mean by that. So now I'm going to take my green, Garden Green Spot. You always want to do a color that's darker than your cardstock. I'm not going to try to get my head in there. I'm just going to stamp over that. Now, you might get a little white on your stamp. You're not going to contaminate your pad if you get a little bit of white on there. Ooh. Let's go ahead and let's line this one up. Try not to get my head in the way. You don't need to see my grays and what I call my chemo hair, because my hair is really a different texture than it ever was before. All right, that one I got a little bit off on, but it doesn't really, I guess to me, it doesn't really matter. And let's go ahead, get that one on there, just making a real nice background. I also hope, I'm keeping an eye on my monitor over there, because when I woke up this morning, my phone was at 5%. So I charged it up, but I already did one video for my introducing and examples with series. So I pretty much drained it, tried to quick charge it again. So I'm just watching to make sure that it doesn't go dead on us. All right, let me cover that up. We'll clean this off later. But there. Now I'm going to show you one that I stamped yesterday so you can see when this was done yesterday. So as that white naturally dries, and don't ignore that. I don't know how I got paper scratchings on it. So here's when it's wet, and here's what it'll look like once it dries. Still a great effect. And if you wanted to, you could always use white embossing powder after you stamp, because if you choose to use white embossing powder or clear on this, so you keep that whiteness and then stamp on top of the green, it's going to wipe away. So you really would want to do that now if you wanted to do the embossing powder, because that's still wet. Of course, the dyes based will dry faster, so the powder will just stick to your white. You can keep it that way, but I kind of like how it looks once it dries completely. All right, so that's using your white pad for stamping with a 2-step stamping set. All right, let me go ahead and put this over here. I like to put stuff away right away. All right, next method, we're going to use the Flowers Fair. And for this, I am going to go ahead and use my Stampin' Positioner. Hang on one second. I'm going to pause the video for just 1 second. Okay, guys, sorry about that. I'm back. Like I said, we did a lot of planning yesterday, my daughter and I, and there was something on the ground. One of our hummingbird feeders was on the ground, so I don't know what happened there. Oh, you know what? Let's do this one first. Let's do my example with the simple alphabet first, because I have the letters already on there, ready to go. All right, so for this one, I am going to use a strip of, this is Crisp Cantaloupe. I'm learning all these names, guys. It takes a while. And I'm going to show you, I know sometimes people say they have a hard time with the stamps sticking to them. So I am going to, I have a piece of cardstock here that is a lot larger than what I'm going to be using, but I'm going to show you why I'm doing that. I'm lining it up on my Stampin' Positioner, and yes, I have excessive amounts of magnets. With the new catalog, these became available to purchase on their own. So these sometimes will stick to your fingers. You'll get them all lined up and it'll be like, oh, it fell, it moved. So what I like to do is, if you place it down and then put the putty end of your tool, your take your pick tool, your finger can release without the stamp, hanging onto your finger. So lay it down the way you want it. And see how, if I'm moving it, see how it moves? So lay it down how you want it. And then just lightly touch it with your take your pick tool. And it will not stick to your finger. See, here it goes again. So lay it down. Get it where you want. Lightly touch it with your take your pick tool. And it's going to stay in place. Okay, looks like that's good. I have a lot of magnets down because I don't want this paper to move right now. See, it still did a little. That's all right. I'm just going to make sure that we're back on that line, because we're going to be shifting this a little bit with that second color to get like a shadow effect. So I really need this to kind of stay down where it is. Let me see where this is. I don't want my magnet too close to where I'm stamping. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's grab that white. Oh, hang on. My camera got stuck for a second there. All right, so let's get the white, craft white on there. Push down. And I think I want to do a second one. Oops, sorry. I'm inking it up off camera. Sorry about that. I'm going to let it touch the paper for just a little bit so some of that ink can transfer. And there you go. All right, so there's our white. Let me put that up there. Let's clean this off. Sure, I got this wet. It's a little bit dry. I'm going to get all that extra off there. And now I'm just going to grab a block and put these on for now because I want to really clean them better. I'm going to get this after the video wet with cleaner, and that way it'll really clean off well. Okay. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, guys. I didn't want to move them yet. I got too excited. All right. So I did this yesterday in the film too. I'm gonna cut another strip. We weren't supposed to take it off yet. So let me put this over here. Ah, darn it. Silly girl. All right, let me cut another strip over here. Grab it. I keep looking up at the time because I have to take my chemo pills in a little bit, and so I'm really fighting against time. And of course I don't want my phone to die. Alright, so I'm lining it up again there. Get it stuck there a little bit. Oh my gosh, guys. So silly. Why did I do that? All right, here we go again. So let's do. Were you guys screaming at me? Are you like, stop, Roxy, no. You haven't done the shadow part yet. All right. All right. Well, you get to see me working with my take your pick tool again to make sure that those letters don't stick to your fingers and move after you've placed them. All right. So we're going to ink it up again, guys. I was just so excited to clean. Not. Is anyone out there excited to clean? I know I'm not. I'm never excited to clean. All right, let me make sure those are back up in the sprockets. That is on the line. And now let's ink that up with our white again. You're gonna get good at this. Oh, I have to quit. Okay, I have to quit. I'm gonna put my white over here because every time I put my arm up there, it goes out of focus. All right, let's try this again. So first layer. This back down. Do second layer. Oops, sorry, I'm off camera again. Just don't want to accidentally touch the letters. All right, there we are. Now we're going to clean my stamps, but not remove them. I am not going to remove them. All right, so let me get my cleaning towel. Get those cleaned off. I'll do as good as I can. I want to be careful though that I don't take them off of the positioner. Now we are going to take this and we're going to shift. Remember how we had it right on there? We're going to shift it slightly. And I think I want to shift it this way. So see, I'm going maybe a 1/16 of an inch over. And now I'm going to ink it up with Calypso Coral. I don't know if I got my stamp clean enough because it feels like it's bubbling up a little. All right, again, press down, bring up. Let's do one more inking. My spots could be getting a little dry too. Now remember, you can heat set this, but that color is on top of that white. So right now it needs time to dry. But you see how you get that nice little shadow? And what I thought I would do with this once it dries is that I would cut this down and use it on a card with this fabulous Scenic Coast DSP that came out in the catalog. No, it came out on my exclusives. Let me see. Nope, it's the catalog. Oops, I just knocked my calendar down. All right, so I'm gonna let this dry. Here's one I did yesterday. So again, you can see, let me show you the difference. So there's where it's dried, and this is Petal Pink. It's not Crisp Cantaloupe. So you see, once it dried, and that one I didn't get too good on. Oops, sorry. So Crisp Cantaloupe we just did. This is Petal Pink, and we did that last night, just to see how it would look after it dried. All right. My last one. And this might be my favorite. All right, now I can clean this off and take these letters off. And like I said, I'm going to clean them a little bit better since they did have that white craft on there. You can see they're kind of on the side. So those will get a nice washing out. All right, last technique. And I don't think I need my magnets so much on this one. We'll see. All right, this is Highland Heather. I'm going to put it on this line right there, that little dotted line, and at the number 2. I'm going to kind of push this down so maybe it'll stick to that tape that I have underneath there. Now I'm going to use, let me file this away, hang on. There we go. I'm going to use Flowers Fair. Flowers Fair. Sorry. I did a video on this earlier in the year. If I can find it really quick, I will link it for you. So what we're going to do, now again, remember, sorry, that's a very loud noise. Remember where your paper is, because this one, since it's a full panel, covers the full panel. Knowing where that lines up is going to be important because the card will most likely move. So let's go like this, walk it, bring that up, see how the paper's going to come with it. All right, again, know where you're putting it. I'm putting it at the 2 line and that dotted line there. So I'm lined up there, lined up there. Going to, again, stamp with my white. Make sure I got nice coating on there. I can tell my card, did it move? No, it didn't. All right, so that tape underneath might be holding onto it a little bit. All right, let's put that on there, press down, give it a second to transfer because it is that white. Bring it up. Let's go ahead and do another inking. So again, I'm getting it lined up. You know what? No, I'm going to leave it like that. It doesn't bother me. All right, so now I'm going to move it just slightly off of that. See how I have just like a 1/16 of an inch on both sides there? Let's clean off. Let me go ahead and close this up. Let me see if I can get this back on the top without my arm getting in. That way we don't have to worry about my camera refocusing. You know what? I think I am going to quickly spray this with some Stampin' Mist cleaner just because I want to get that white out of there. Let me show you. See how that all that white is building up? Let me just do that over here. All right. I think I got most of it off. All right. Looks like I got most of the white off. Let me go ahead and put my towel back in there. And now we're going to, since this is Highland Heather, we're going to go in with Gorgeous Grape. And yes, you can use your full stamp pad. I'm just using my spots because they're right here at my desk and I love using my spots. So let me go ahead and get, sorry about that noise. Let me see if I can do it this way. It may not be as bad. And I'm just going over quite a few times because I want to make sure I get as much ink on there as possible. All right, I think oh, now I have it on my fingers. All right, so now again, this is a little bit, it's like a 16th off. Bring this over and down. And look at that. Oops. It is just stunning. Can you see how it's just shadowing those? Here, maybe if I turn it this way. Yes, they're upside down on their side. Do you see how that's, let me put my hand in there. See how that's just lightly shadowing all of that. Just a really cool effect. Let me show you one I did last night. This I did, I think this was old Perfect Plum. So you can see that didn't really fade that much. So the darker the cardstock, the more I think the white will show up too. But I'm gonna let this go ahead and dry, and I'll make that into a card because it's already in the 4 by 5 1/4, so it's ready to be a layer. Okay, so here we have it. There's those. Here's my dream, and where did I put, oh, over here on my work desk. And then here's, put that, trying to cover up that hole. And then there's those. So that's it, guys. That's your technique of the week. I hope you enjoyed this class. If you did, please give me that thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. If you think someone else would enjoy these technique videos, let them know about my channel and have them subscribe. I am very close to my goal of 500, and I would really appreciate the help to get there. So thanks so much for joining me on this beautiful Sunday morning. I hope you're having good weather where you're at. Right now it looks like it's going to be another blistering day for us in the Chicagoland area, and then we're getting storms on Monday. So anyway, thanks. Have a great Sunday. Give me that thumbs up if you don't mind. Enjoy yourself. We'll see you next week for Technique of the Week. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.